Now we'll look at some other useful functions in Caterpro. First we'll look at rental check-in. Here's where you can check in your rental items, and the events shown here will be those events that have rental items that are outstanding. That is, events that have happened but the rental items have not been checked in. You can do this by checking in all items. For example, clicking here and then clicking process. That will check in all items for the global dinner. Or you can do this by event, and we'll look at the global dinner here, and we can see that there were 60 items that were out, and we could check these in individually, and perhaps only those came back and we need 50 chairs back. We can process those 50 in, and the next time we come in here we'll see an outstanding 50 chairs. That's the rental check-in function. The check status function produces a number with different information. For example, the first screen here shows you today's events. If you click on the Unconfirmed tab, you'll see a list of those events that have not been confirmed. That is, marked confirmed in Caterpro. The No Guarantee Count tab shows you those events that do not have a guarantee count. And you can expand these fields by in between the values and then moving the line over. Unreturned rentals shows you the rentals that have not been returned. And we can see here that we just returned the tables for the global dinner, but the chairs were not returned, so they're still on this list. We can see those items where there has been a contract due date assigned on the event screen, and these items do not have the contract yet. And we can also see items where the guarantee count is due, and we do not have guarantee counts in the system. And that's the check status function. Now we'll look at the client interface function. In this function you specify a date range. Let's say you want to see all events for a particular week here. Then you click Get Events, and you'll be shown all the events for that week. And what you would do here then is click the Create Interface button, and then you must type in a file name here, and we'll put Events 306. Save it, and an interface file has been created now. If we go look at that file and double click that file, we'll see that records have been put into the CSV file, comma separated variables file, that can be brought into a Excel spreadsheet. And they'll show you the information, and this is described in the user guide, totals for the event, total food, beverage, and other, and so forth. And you can manipulate this with Microsoft Excel. Add some other functions. The Set Holidays function allows you to indicate holidays. So for example, if you never work on the 4th of July, then you would click this, click Save, and no events could be scheduled on the 4th of July. That's the Set Holidays function. The Take Items Update function is where you modify the take list items to your choosing. This is what is presented as a sample. If you, for example, don't want the China category, then you would click China category, click the dinner plate item, and delete it. And then you can add back a new category by entering a category name here, and clicking Add, and clicking an item name here, and then clicking Add. And underneath the category of China, dinner plate would be added. So for example, we could add water glass as a category under China. And we'll see when we bring up China that now we have a water glass item. And that's how you modify and add take items to the take item list. Another function, log management and logging capability. So for example, every time you go into an event and make a modification, let's say we change the order here, change the quantity to 80, there'll be a log record created for that activity. And if we close out of this, then we can go to the log management function, and we'll see that we updated the order for the 50th anniversary party on 2/24. So you can manage this by clicking on items here and then clicking delete, or you could select all and then click delete, or you could print this log, and it will be printed to the printer. And that's the log maintenance function. The ChefTech interface function allows you to interface sales information from Caterpro to ChefTech. And let's say, for example, that you wanted to interface February 2006 information to February 2007 information. So you would set the date there, click Get Events. Then a list of all of the menu items that were food or beverage menu items will be shown, and their event, their date, their price, their quantity, and their item ID out of Caterpro, which is equivalent to a PLU in ChefTech. And then you could either select all the entries to be interfaced to ChefTech, or you could select the individual items that you wanted to interface to ChefTech. Let's say you don't deal with beverages, so you would just select the food items. Or there are certain food items that you want to keep track of and not others, so you would select those items. And then you would click Create Interface. However, I believe that your items would have to have an item ID in Caterpro or PLU in Caterpro, and that is entered in the menu maintenance function. So another selection criteria that's been added is the ability to just select items with a PLU. So you could, for example, just click Select PLU items, and it'll go through the list in the database and just select those items that have a PLU. Then you would click Create Interface. You'll get a dialog then, which show you in the Caterpro folder all the files that are already CSV files. In this case, we're just going to click ChefTech. You'd probably want to say ChefTech and then put a date on it, the date that you sent it to ChefTech, and accumulate those files and then clean them out once in a while. And then that interface gets created, and that interface can be brought into ChefTech to update the sales for ChefTech. And that's the ChefTech interface. The tax and service charge conversion utility allows you to make mass changes to the database. For example, if you're changing your tax rates in the future or changing your service charge rates in the future, then you would use this function. So it's a good idea to make a backup of the database before you use it, just to make sure that in case something went wrong, which is unlikely, you would have a backup. So let's say we're going to, effective February 1st, we're going to change our service charge. So here we can see what the existing rates are, and in this case we're going to change the service charge to 20%. And we're going to change it for all new events, so we're going to select all of them, and then we're going to preview changes, and what's going to happen is the service charge rate's going to change, or the service charge amount is going to change, and the event total is going to change here. So we'll preview them, and yes, you could see that the amounts have changed. And then you can go ahead and commit the changes to the database if you're happy with them. And it indicates that updating is complete, and please ensure that you change the preferences with the new service charge rates. This does not update the preferences. We click OK, and then we can print a summary of what was changed and see the events that were changed and the amounts. Of course, if you wanted to change tax rates, you could do the same thing here. Or if you had to change tax rates, let's say the tax rate was going to 9%, sales tax rate was going to 9%. The service charge is taxable, and it's going to 9% taxes on that. And so now we can look here and see the taxes that we have currently calculated. We can preview the changes and see that the rates, the amounts have changed. Commit those changes. Again, please ensure that the preference get updated. Again, we can print the summary and show, the new amounts. And that's the tax and service charge conversion utility.